Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Her Inspired Journey virtual stage. My partner, Cheryl, wherever she is on your
I'm
screen,
here. I'm here. Hello, hello, hello.
Cheryl Visco, and I, of All in Alignment, host her virtual stage every couple of weeks. And we've been doing this for almost 2 years now. And the purpose of it is we want to shine the spotlight on and give women a platform to be seen and heard. And we've had some incredible people on this platform over the last almost 2 years. And it just gives us, it's kind of our little passion project, really,
Hmm.
because we saw a need for women to be able to have a stage to speak on for the first time, to share their gifts, their talents. And it just gives us such great joy. And then part of that is that we host a in-person women's wellness weekend once a year called Her Inspired Journey, coming up in Red Deer, Alberta, September 13th and 14th. And so this gives us, as the hosts, an opportunity to see who's out there that we can bring to our in-person weekend as well. So it's kind of twofold, but we absolutely love helping to elevate women who are on purpose, doing something incredible in the world. And our guest this evening, well, we have, the privilege of doing that for her. So Cheryl, take it away. Let us know who
Ah,
is the guest this evening.
absolutely my pleasure. And welcome everybody. Hello. Antonia's journey of feeling misunderstood fueled her passion for helping others. Embracing individuality, she empowers people to find clarity, embrace their true selves, and let go of limiting beliefs, guiding them toward personal transformation and a life of purpose. She is passionate life coach, equine specialist, entrepreneur, and I particularly love this next one, inspire O'Near. Inspire O'Near.
Hmm.
I think that's so fun. Dedicated to personal transformation. A mother, wife, and student, she integrates nature, horses, and mindset strategies through Mustang wisdom. And tonight, the many hats we wear to inspire clarity, confidence, and growth. Please help us welcome to the virtual stage, Andonia. Woo!
Well, I have to just add one thing to that. She is also an international
Oh,
best-selling
yes. Yes,
author,
yes, yes.
recently launching Ignite Impact that went bestseller in 5 countries.
Countries.
And her story is incredible. So,
Yes, yes. My
okay, that's
apologies.
so, and Dania, you have the stage for the next 50 minutes. It's all yours, and we are excited to learn and grow from you.
Well, thank you so much, Anita and Cheryl. I'm excited to be here. I'm hoping everybody can hear me okay. If you can, you can throw out a thumbs up. I I'm trying out my new microphone. So one of the things that is I just want to put out there is thank you to both of you. I actually was a participant last year in their conference, Her Inspired Journey, with the rebrand, and it was absolutely beautiful and awakening. I had a huge spiritual, um, I would even say unexpected, because I thought I was going to a business conference because I just signed up and thought, yeah, sure, why not? That turned into this beautiful moment of learning what it is to be vulnerable. And it's such a safe space to experience that on such a higher level. So I would encourage anybody that can make it, it is worth it in more levels than I can even express. So thank you for that opportunity and also the people that I got to connect with. And today, coming on stage and getting to share my story and impact, however that might be, through my own journey and perhaps yours too. So I just want to say thank you for bringing me here and getting to shine a little bit brighter. Okay, so now that I am here, I would love to tell you a little bit about myself. And of course, they introduced my bio a little bit on who I am, but in the root of it all, I'd love to share about how it all kind of came to be. So as they mentioned, I am a international best-selling author now, actually 2 times, because I wrote in the Ignite Your Adventurous Spirit as well about 4 years ago. What was really beautiful about this journey in Ignite Impact with JBO and Lady JBO and the tribe is that in every journey that I have walked and participated in, I get to learn more about myself, about who I am growing to be, and about the person I've always been. And through that, it's been through the eye of the horse. And every time I look back and I think about every step and every growth, every limiting belief that I haven't or have been acknowledging, I'm standing next to a horse when I left and I need to go home. And I just love sharing that journey with people because mine is not in, as I've spoken with a few people even just today, is not in a box. I am not so comfortable in boxes because I feel like I can't be on purpose and find myself in the energy and the things that I live with. And if you think of the Mustang and you think of the horse, they don't limit themselves to that either. They are amongst the range, free-spirited to explore and see and do whatever it is and learn from the world that they're in and adapt and become the whatever that is for them. So for me, I really relate to the Mustang because I have and still work through many of my own limited beliefs and challenge myself on the regular on how I'm going to step up and live with purpose and serve, however that might be. So for people who don't relate to the horse, that's okay because you relate to something that ties it all together. That when you have those aha moments, when you have those times where you feel overwhelmed and have anxiety, or you're wearing many hats, whether that's the entrepreneur, the student, the parent, the coach, wherever it is that you're coming from, you can find out from yourself when you stop and you block and you say, okay, I hear you. The universe is screaming at me, or you're not listening and the universe is smacking things one after the other into you and you're asking yourself, what's going on? So in my journey, back to me, I guess a little bit, is that I grew up and so lucky to grow up in the country. I got to grow up removed from, part of the world and the busyness and the 9 to 5 things. And I'm grateful for that. My mother's actually here, and I send much of that love and appreciation to her. That's Phyllis Roberto out on Quadra. So thank you. And thank you for all of you being here in support of my talk today. But growing up in the country, I grew up with the mindset that I am all power and I am somebody to be reckoned with. And I definitely grew up with a very big ego. I'm sure that I was a handful at times. And what I had to learn as growing up is not that I needed to necessarily rein in that energy, but what I needed to learn was how to work with that energy. That even though I can be very big for lots of people and it makes them uncomfortable, maybe, is that it's because I have so much to share and so much to give. So working with horses is very interesting in the mindset of when you have big energy, they're going to match you and they're going to help you bring yourself down. Because if you're not, the experience you're going to have could be phenomenal or detrimental It's about safety in a lot of ways. So I grew up with this big energy, but also learning how to work with it. And when I'd go and find the horses or go and be with the horses, they would ground me and they would bring me to a place of peace and understanding. And as I went to school, I started to realize that I learned differently. I didn't understand why I didn't get the attention that I needed to pick up on the information that they were being taught. That more often I was sat in the hallway because I was being disruptive or lacked interest instead of being supported. And the educators, and I mean all well to them, they did the best they could, but not adapting to the way that I learned so that I could stay with that room. So as I started to get older, and then marks and grades started to become important, I started to notice that I was below average in the ability to understand concepts and pick up an education. So, well, like some of us who've had these struggles or businesses or places we've been in, this is when limited beliefs start to exist, for me at least. It came from, I'm dumb, no one understands me, maybe I just don't belong here. And maybe that's why I just stopped going a lot of the time and getting in trouble and doing other things. Because who wants to be in an environment where you don't feel welcomed? Because you see the world in different colors and vibrations. So I had dove into my music. I had dove into the horses and their power, into nature, into animals, anything that didn't require me to speak. Because I always felt that English was not my first language. Body language was. Energy was and is. And as I look back at my past and I think of where I am today and what I've gone through in this journey is evolve. But change for what serves my purpose. Change for what makes me feel my power within. And that's where the mindset and the awareness and the encouragement that I look at helping people with by utilizing the horse, or utilizing their own story and their past and helping hear their narrative, hear where they maybe don't feel heard, and then reframe it for them if they give me permission. And when I look at that reframing, I'm not asking anybody to change their story and change what happened. What I'm looking for and asking them to do is to take a step back, stop, breathe, observe, and ask yourself, what is triggering me? What are my limited beliefs? What is holding me back from being my best self? In whatever form or fashion that is, because it's your story. It's not mine, and it's how you choose to hear it and how you decide to live it. So if you're somebody who maybe lives with anxiety, or someone who has these past traumas and you feel stuck, that's okay. We've all been there. So let's work on the narrative and the story. I could be the girl who still says, and I refuse to say, I have a learning disability, because I don't agree with that statement. I just learn differently. And that's okay. And that when people scoff or judge, I ask myself, what are they projecting? What are they not comfortable about themselves? How can I help them? And instead of people feeling sorry for me and me living in that space, my choice is to live beyond that, but be aware of it, but not identify myself with it, because I don't agree. I am powerful and beautiful, and so are all of you. And we all have gifts in whatever sense that might be. So that being said, even though I kind of give you dips and tips and things within this story, the point is I could be all these things and I could keep talking about my past, but I want to talk about the future, the present, the what right now, because that's what's important to me. I had thought, oh, I should plan my talk and I'll have all these things and I'm going to stick to this. And then I thought, that's not me. That's the box I can't live in. I'm a wing it. I'm a wing it because I have to feel it. And if I can't feel what I'm going to talk about, then I don't feel like I'm being authentic and true and being prepared and open to answer any questions someone may have. Because I've put up a barrier and a block. I've put myself in a box. But that's the box that I have. I'm like the little, I can't even think of the name, but where you pull them off and they become all these different little, more and more, big and small. And like the onion, let's say, you're peeling the onion. But my onion starts all chopped up and cut up, and it's all this mix of area because I'm not a linear thinker. And that's okay too. And I have fun with it. So today, what I want to do is I want to explore with you, and if you're all open and give permission, to dive a little bit into what is resonating with you right now as I'm sharing my stories. What is the story you are telling yourself? Is there anything that, while I was talking, that triggered you? Or a aha moment? Or a, oh, I can totally connect with that. Or even if it was, I'm totally turned off by this conversation and I'm not interested. Why? So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up my little workbook here for you. But prior to that, and before I move in, does anybody need more information from me? Just throw it in the chat and a question about myself and who I am. Or do you feel, if you do feel you got it, thumbs up. Because I just think it's really important that everybody understands where I come from. And if you're not sure, you have a question, throw it in. But then we'll do our workbook. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And then Cheryl and Anita, if it's fine with you, if I'm not catching chats and questions happening, if you could just let me know so that I am making sure I'm present and available for all of you. Okay. Can everybody see that workbook? All right. So I'm going to be looking off the screen because I have it on the other side. And the reason I have that is because this one's bigger and it's easier to see. So I want to make sure that you guys can see this. So what I have is the Google Doc. If you don't know, it's in the chat. There should be a link. And if you want to work on it digitally or print it, you can. What you may have to do, though, is make a copy. If you're not sure how to do that, you go into File and make a copy, and then it'll duplicate it. So what I want to tell you a little bit about is with the many hats we wear, and as I was saying, the many hats and the Mustang wisdom are two very important things for me. The many hats is about how much we have to work through the hats we wear in a day. That's the people we aren't hiding behind. It's the hats that we wear as the entrepreneur and the parent, as I was saying earlier. Even just being the student, even just right now for me being the speaker, I'm wearing my hat, but also wearing my coach hat because I'm doing both. And so it's important to understand what hat you have on so that you can, what hat do you want to wear right now? And the Mustang wisdom is just the value, the belief, the learning, and the teachings for me that support myself in understanding how the world works. Because again, I could say I had those learning disabilities, but instead I just learned differently because it was the horse that taught me to understand the world by giving me the tools to live amongst it, to be able to speak. So this little workbook is called Step into clarity, confidence, and Mustang wisdom, exploring identity, releasing limited beliefs, and embracing your true path. So you have the option, as I said, to download it, print it, work online. The Many Hats We Wear is a reflection workbook. This journey isn't about removing the hats we wear. It's about learning to wear each one with purpose, clarity, and abundance and balance. Honoring the roles we've chosen and gently releasing the ones that no longer serve us. It's not about doing less. It's about living more aligned. So what I'd like to do is if everybody could take a pen and paper out, we're going to do some journaling together. And then what I'm looking for is that anyone who's interested in participating and sharing their reflections, I would like to then have the opportunity to just see where that goes, whether that's us having a conversation and diving in a little bit deeper into your mindset and reframing, or if that's just us continuing journaling together, or myself sharing another story, a more in-depth story. See, I was just about to do a limited belief there and I caught myself. So, exploring the roles we play. List the roles you currently play in your life. These are your hats: parent, entrepreneur, caregiver, student, partner. Reflect on these questions. How do these roles shape your daily experience? So for me, as a mother and a student and an entrepreneur, I have to very much organize on time management. And that means that right now, I had to have my daughter picked up by my sister so that I could be here today. And so I had to put my hat on of what's the best for my family right now. In my daily experience, it's a lot of juggling from point A to B to C. So how did these roles shape your daily experience? And what they make me feel is resilient. I actually feel powerful in my abilities to manage my time. And which roles, that's the next one, feels empowering and which one feels draining. As I mentioned, it's empowering for me to see my time management and my ability to move things around and get from the places I need to go. I get excited about efficiency. But the things that feel draining for me is when I get caught up in something I really, really love, and then I have to go do something I really don't want to do because that's life. And so as an example, recently, I was outside working with my wildies, my Mustangs. I just picked up some a couple weeks ago. And my intention with them is to spend time with them. They make me feel good. They remind me of my fears and limited beliefs that I have to work through, like being confident, breathing, being present, and being in touch with nature. And reminding myself that every small win is a win and when to stop. Tools that I need to use in my everyday life. So I hope you guys are just kind of working through this while I'm talking. While I'm embodying this person that I love, this version of me, this hat that I enjoy wearing, working with the horses, what happens is I don't want to stop and I lose track of time. And then someone who likes horses shows up and I get to talk about it and I'm busy talking and then I go, oh my gosh, I have to go feed my kids and they start school for the first time tomorrow because we've been homeschooling all year and my practicum's starting and I've got to get ready for this talk and I have a school assignment due at midnight. And then my cousin Lori shows up for coffee. And it turns into 3 hours, and I'm still thinking about all these things and wondering with myself, how am I going to get this all done? How am I going to do this well? And why do I have to have all these things on my plate? What was I thinking? And at that time, I kept saying to myself, it's okay. Everything will work out. Stop. Breathe. observe, ask myself what is triggering me right now that's stopping me from being in the present. Because here's the thing, and I say this all the time when I work with the horses, when I work with coaching, when I work with kids. If I have 15 minutes to do something, it's going to take me all day. But if I have all day, it's going to take me 15 minutes. So changing your mindset. Taking that time to just be present. Allowing yourself to have faith, or whatever you want to call it, that everything will work out. Everything will fall into place. So feeling drained is when I think too much about the things I don't need to be thinking about because they'll all work out. And needing to take that time. Now ask yourself, are these roles you're taking or you've taken on that no longer serve you and serve who you are becoming? What are they there? Are they helping you or are they holding you back? So for me, for example, right now I'm in the process of a transition with my daycare that I own. I started the daycare because I saw that there was a need, an important need, an essential need. And it was important to me because as I was telling you about my childhood and moving into a school where I felt left behind, this is when I realized how development meant everything to me. And I didn't even know that development was my entire world. So I opened this up with the mindset of I'm going to hold this space and I'm going to make this center and I'm going to help these kids and they're never going to be left behind because I'm going to make sure that I've got good teachers and that they follow my program template, but that they also know that they get to think out of the box and that they get to think about how to adapt and be with these children and help everybody evolve. And I can proudly say that I have done that. And I can proudly say that my center is operating still, regardless of where it currently is at financially. But I can also say and acknowledge that I'm done now. That I am ready to move on to my next purpose because I have somebody who's ready to take it over, who loves what they're doing. And that the daycare means everything to them. And I can proudly say that if I step down and I step away, that I have done my purpose, but now it is time because it no longer serves me. Now it is a chore because I'm no longer enjoying it. And it takes me away from other things that I want to do, that it builds other stress. You know, it's important that big or small, that we take those steps back and ask ourselves, does this serve me? I was on boards and boards of things that I'm proud of. I was on a swimming board. I was on a horse barn board, but it was not serving me. It was taking away from me. So I set that aside. And it was hard to do that. But also, in acknowledging those spaces meant I also needed to be vulnerable and work on being open to change. That I might be an adaptable person, but I also have a hard time asking for help. And that to serve me better, I needed to know how to do that too. That not just letting things go, but also knowing how to ask and receive and be open. So sitting in front of a council of people at with the MD of Greenview saying, I need help, I have no money, I don't know if my daycare is going to open, and I've done all that I can. The fact that I had the people sitting around the table who normally interrogate you and say, why should we help you, are instead saying, what can we do to help her? Maybe we can give her a short-term loan, interest-free. Ideas after ideas after ideas that they actually had to ask me to leave the room because they didn't want to give me false hope. So if there's anything I can say about that is that what serves me is that I needed to let go and I needed to learn to ask for help and be vulnerable, because things will happen the way they're meant to happen and they will play out. But have faith, stay present, stop, breathe, observe, and ask yourself whether it's whatever triggers you or does this serve me? It can work in any way you need it to. And then I have a lovely little Mustang wisdom quote at the bottom. We wear many hats, but the ones that fit best is the one we choose with clarity and courage. So if anybody would like to share, if anyone would like to share, and if Cheryl and Anita are fine with letting them come up, I would love to have someone kind of share what came up for them. And maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll just share. I just want to go with the moment and see what comes up, because that's how I roll.
And that's perfect. But just so that whoever comes off of mute and wishes to share, understand that this is recorded and it stays out for others to see. So as long as you're fine with that, go for it.
I would also suggest Andonia, if you want to just stop the share, if you're having other people share. There we go. Okay,
Sure,
we
there
can
we
all
go.
see each other again. Yeah. So I actually just wrote down while you were talking, I just wrote down the word hat, 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 like a whole bunch of times. And then I just wrote, I wrote beside there, like, what hat? So obviously I have a wife hat, I have a mother hat, a grandmother hat, I have a sister hat, a daughter hat, I have an entrepreneur hat, a coaching hat, a teaching hat. And so I just, wrote all those down. And then beside them, I wrote whether it uplifts me or drains me. So that was just really, I mean, really cool, really fast. And it was like, okay, yep. So
Yeah.
I may go and get a collection of hats just so that I have
Right?
that, right? So then I can just say, okay, I want to wear the uplifting hat today. And then if I have to put on the one that maybe drains or makes me feel neutral, then I might want to go through whatever it is I need to do quickly so I can put on my fun hat or right, my passion hat. So anyway, so yeah, that was kind of cool for me. Anyways, somebody else might have
Yeah, I
Elaine
love
to
that.
share, and so would Janet. Okay. So you could just unmute yourself. Janet, do you want to unmute if you want to share?
I think Elaine was ahead of me here.
Okay, go ahead, Elaine, and then Janet.
Thanks, Janet. No, I just wanted to say that what you were saying, Andonia, was I wrote down all my little roles and stuff like that, and I reflected on the fact that in the last 2 weeks, I've actually let go of some hats. Because even though and the a layer up from that, I let go of them and I chose not to feel guilty, even though they have a couple of things I've been doing for a year that served me well a year ago up until now. Um, there's new things coming up, and I have to let go of the things that I'm comfortable with that I did enjoy doing, but they're not really serving my purpose moving forward. And they would actually then hold me back. So, yeah, it was a good reflection.
Awesome.
That's
Thank
great.
you. Janet, would you like to come off mute and share?
Well, Anita, I think that I'm going to take your hat idea, because I think that the only one that I would add is I'm a great grandmother now, so I can add that as well. Um, I'm again, like a teacher of workshops and stuff like that. But it's interesting because I wasn't thinking of what let go, but just now, as Elaine was talking, I thought, I let go of my pleaser hat.
Ooh.
I really this past, I'd say 6, 7 months, and didn't realize it till Elaine was talking there, and because I think I've let go of other things and standing more on my feet and taking more risks. I've always taken them, but not to the degree to build it up. Adonna, that I my story is much like yours, and except that I did talk. I did. My mom says I was born talking, and I got in trouble for talking. But I have to refrain because school and all my talking and all I get in trouble was really my training ground. Because then I did 30 plus years as a police dispatcher and I talked all the time. So, and now I still talk and I teach. So, anyways, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. Thank you, all of you.
Do we have time? We have 2 more hands raised, Andonia. Do we have
Yeah,
time?
you know what? They have access to the workbook, and I think this is if this is everyone's happy with this, we'll finish with Chantel or yeah, with whomever, and then we'll move on to the next part.
Okay. Chantel and then Melody.
Hey, so I didn't elaborate too much on all of the hats I wear, but I was also just being mindful of kind of that introspective hat that I wear and the time I need for myself as an introvert. And I think that's a little bit different than some of the others that have been shared. Um, what I answered for one was that these roles fill my day and that they all require my energy. And where I put my focus and attention is where my energy goes, has become a very important perception for me to adapt to because I'm someone who has always been very squirrely and scattered. And then I always feel it's difficult to take off one hat and put on another. And then I'm not really present in the moment. I'm always just kind of worrying about what I left behind and what's coming up next. So, yeah, and also just the energy of I get to, not like I have to. For me, it used to be difficult to create time for my social life, and that wasn't empowering for me because I was always kind of giving all of my energy away instead of ever having that receivership. And then when I reflect on some of my roles as far as being a partner, it's also breaking the codependency. And so that it is kind of going back to that healthier balance of give and take. And just wanting what feels empowering and not draining.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Nice. Thank you for sharing. Melody, did you want to share? Oh, you have to come off mute. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Wow. To think that page 1 would bring all this out in all of us, but I feel that I love chatting with Anita because I've had the privilege to several times, and it always leads to bigger questions. And what about all the hats we wear? And as women, I think we considerably wear more hats just because of, I think it's a lot of it's our maternal nature. But it was interesting to me to break out where I hope I feel the power of and the ones that feel more draining to me. I just kind of would have had them all on the same level, right? These are just all the things that I do. But when you think about what really kind of feeds you and what sort of maybe drains you a little bit, it's pretty eye-opening. And this last year has been, like a lot of us, a lot of letting go of some old beliefs and a lot of personal growth for sure. Yeah, personal growth. But I have to say, in a group like this and with beautiful women leading the charge, we all have greatness within us to show up. And Mia, thank you, because I think it's going to be an important conversation.
Awesome. Okay, let's go back to screen sharing and your presentation.
Sure. So what I'd like to say too is thank you so much, everybody, for your share. What I so appreciate is how everybody, and this is one of my favorite things. Let's hope this is the right one. Can everybody see the identifying limited beliefs section 2? Okay. So what I love the most about these kinds of experiences and why they're important for me to just be open and let them go with the flow is because it's important that everybody gets to share the way that they perceive it, how that information comes across to them. And then what's really fun is that when we start to share, we pick up at different ideas and ways of how that can also be incorporated in our lives. That I like Janet said, "Oh, I never thought of the hats like that. I'm going to take that idea that Anita had shared. Those are beautiful." But then also just the way that Chantel pulled that in and turned it into what her hats were and what that meant to her as far as being an introvert, and the Melody expressing the hats all being the same, and then having to realize that, oh, there's actually some that might take my energy and some that give some. So thank you so much to everybody for sharing that. So going into section 2, now I want to remind everyone this book is yours. You have it. You can complete it and finish it. If we get through it all, great. Probably won't, but that's okay, because it's not about rushing through. This isn't something that you hurry through. This is meant to be changing the mindset, life altering, or however you want to take it. So as far as identifying limiting beliefs, we've now talked about our hats. So what I'd like you to do now is choose one role that feels challenging or unfulfilling and reflect on what beliefs you associate with that role. Now, what that means to me is that growing up, you learn and model the behaviors that you're around. And then you move out of your home and you still have some of these values and beliefs. But then you meet somebody, or you don't. But as you age, your values and beliefs start to change because you start to look at your past with your present and your future and who you want to become. And I've always believed and been an advocate for learning what are yours and what are others. And that's probably even part of being a people pleaser, is learning that you don't need to change your beliefs to appreciate other people's. And I also believe that that means that when you become a when you have a spouse, whether you have children or not, what happens is there's no book on how to be a we. So now you're also testing and recognizing your beliefs, their beliefs, and your beliefs in how to raise children together, as an example. So thinking about the belief that you associate with that role. And then I want you to reflect on, what do I believe about myself in that role? Is this belief based in truth or past experience? How does this belief affect my ability to grow? And what belief could I replace it with that would support my transformation? So for myself, even more recently, in the recent years, I used to say no to Edson. This is the town I'm from. I'm raised in this town and I'm getting away from it. It's a black hole. To then moving from place to place to place, trying different things because I needed to prove that my family and I could survive on my own without anybody, and we are independent and we're good. And by then being away, realizing how much I missed that support, that family unit beyond just my own. But also witnessing how much I pushed away the word even God, or even in a sense spirituality. And while I was away on this journey, jumping from place to place and trying to avoid my hometown, I started to miss the things that really meant something to me. And my belief was that it's all Edson's fault. Everything that ever happened to me, all my trauma, all my limited beliefs, all the experiences that I had, it's this town's fault. And then I went to town to town to town and realized all the towns are the same. It's not the town, it's me. It's me who has these limited beliefs. It's me who's getting in the way and putting up these walls. And it's me who needs to believe in myself and know that I am worthy. That all the things that I thought was something else was not something else at all. That was my belief. Now coming back to my hometown, 2 years ago, standing where I got married, 14 years ago almost, and my husband saying, maybe we should just come here. There's all this history and story, and that feeling inside me that was like, Edson, no. And then recognizing that, but I loved the farm, and I have only had good memories at the farm. With my horses, with my family, with my experiences. And now my children are catching the bus, just like I did, in the morning, feeding the horses, and living the part of my life that I really, really loved, that I really, really believe is important in raising my children, and seeing that my son can stay after school and walk to his cousins and phone me that he's there, and I know that they're safe, but I also know that they're learning the importance of being open and to adapt to change, and to see that we have been all these places, but that doesn't mean that that's your belief. You may want to stay in one place, and that's okay. And you'll hear me say that's okay a lot, because it's important that we check in with ourselves to say that's okay. Mustang wisdom. Like a Mustang shedding its winter coat, we can let go of the beliefs that no longer serve us and grow into our truths. So my story is, my truth is, I just want to be with my horses, with my family, with my land. That's what serves my purpose, and I want to share my gifts with the people that resonate with that, because they'll know too. And then there's section 3. Rewriting your narrative. Now, as I said, I'm going to carry on. Sometimes we'll talk about it. Sometimes we'll just move on. You have access to this, so don't feel like you're rushed. If you're not on to this next part, that's okay. You'll get there. We often tell ourselves stories that define our identity. Some serve us, some hold us back. Like my story with Edson. Sometimes it served me, and sometimes it held me back. Reflect on what reoccurring story do I tell myself. And you're looking at your limited belief. You're looking at the story you tell yourself. If I was telling myself that I am dumb, I'm stupid, I'm not worthy, I don't deserve to be loved, that's the story I'm telling myself, and that's what I'm going to receive. But if I'm telling myself that I am worthy, I am loved, and I am all but powerful, and I belong on this stage at her inspired journey, then that's the story that I live by. So what you put out there is what you get back. And if you don't like what you're getting back right now, you do need to stop, breathe, and observe, and ask yourself, what is serving me right now and what's not? What's triggering me? And how do I live my best life if this isn't working? And then ask yourself, where did that story come from? Why did I hate Edson? Why did I not want to be here? And when I think back, I don't really know. I don't even know why I didn't want to be in my hometown. Because, like I said, the towns are all the same. That's not where I grew up. I grew up in the country, and I love the country. And I've been searching and searching forever for land, to have my horses, and to do my thing and have the mountains. Well, I have it. I've just been running away from it for a while to figure out that I'm just coming home. And that's okay. And then what's helping me or holding me back? Because you have to check in, or you should check in with yourself. Every time you're asking yourself to reframe, asking yourself, what's my narrative? What's the limited belief? It's important to continue to ask yourself, what is it? If you name it and you give it life, then it's easier to say, but you can be beside me. You don't get to live for me. You are my lesson that I've learned. You are a tool that I get to use when I feel it's necessary, but we will just live together because we need to love and appreciate all parts of us, not just the best parts we always want to be. In reality, we are all of the parts. We are the anxiety, we are the anger, we are the overwhelm, we are the empowerment, we are that beautiful person, and we are all of these beautiful, wonderful things. But we have to all live together with all of those things too. And if we ignore them and act as though they're not there, like even being vulnerable, then you're not serving yourself because you're in denial in some form or fashion by not acknowledging it. But you can have it there because it's meant to be there to help us be our best selves. There are alert systems, but they don't have to be limited beliefs. And then what new story are you ready to step into? Mustang wisdom. The many hats we wear do not define us. It's the story we write beneath them that sets us free. So what that means to me, reading that quote, means that, for instance, I can be a very angry person if I get triggered. And when I'm really, really angry, what is happening is actually fear. I am projecting something different because I'm hiding my fear. And if I let my anger go down and I acknowledge my fear of whatever it is I'm going through, I can breathe and find out beneath the surface what's going on and set it free. So I was in Arizona recently. I went with my kids, my family for the first time. We were hiking and we went on a guided tour. It was good. But unexpectedly, my husband decided we're pulling over and we're going for a walk on the wash. Well, I have not hiked with my children in the desert. I have done it on my own. And I can deal with myself just fine when it comes to my fears. But now I have my fears and I have my children and everything's out to kill me. And I am not okay. My sympathetic nervous system is striking. It's going crazy. And then I noticed that while I'm projecting, my daughter, who's soon to be 8, is starting to, Mom, I'm afraid. Oh, Mom, what was that? And I thought, oh, no, honey, and said, don't let my fears get in the way of living your life. These are just me. But while I was saying it, I was asking myself, maybe I shouldn't be here. And my limited beliefs kicked in. Maybe I'm ruining these experiences with my kids. Maybe I'm too much. And then in the morning, I had said that to my husband. And he said, in the hard truth of it all, he brought up his anxiety. I live with anxiety every day. And then used my coaching on me and changing my mindset and narrative. And I have to live with it, but I don't let it run my life. So we had a conversation. I broke down. I cried. I released it. I acknowledged it. And then when we went out for the walk, we met my needs. How can I make this better? My kids and I had jeans on, so I wasn't so worried about things getting their legs. My husband took charge of making sure to look over his shoulder and check in on everybody, as well as check in on me. And he gave me that space to help me build my confidence back out in the desert. And with that, which I thought was really beautiful, is that also allowed me to worry about me and how to evolve in that situation and live in that awareness and work through when I'm projecting and how to stop so that I don't have to remove myself from being with my family and enjoying the things that we love to do together because I'm too much. I worry I'm going to ruin their experiences. So instead, I got to teach them how to be resilient and be empowered and step into your fear and try anyway. Just ask for help. So it was really, really cool. And that's kind of where setting yourself free. Now, I'm going to finish off with this last part because I just love what I've recently learned about the wellness wheel and my personal balance. It's so simple. It's kind of like what Anita was saying earlier about the hats, with the one she's going to wear and how she's feeling and where it's taking her. And I thought right away, oh, I got to make sure I touch on this. The wellness wheel is inspired by the principles of balance found in many interpretations of the medicine wheel. It is used here respectfully as a framework of self-reflection, honoring its roots without representing any specific Indigenous tradition. So I do want to acknowledge that. On a scale from 1 to 5, 1 equals not balanced, little attention, and 5 means highly balanced, actively nurtured. Rate your current state in each area. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at North being emotional. You're going to ask yourself, where emotionally am I at? Where am I operating? Am I at a 1? I'm not operating well. I'm a mess. 5 being, I'm awesome. I'm emotionally stable. I feel good. My relationship with myself, my relationship with my family, everything's perfect. Mental. How much time are you putting into your mental? Are you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Physical, south, west, spiritual. And in my ebook that you guys will get if you fill out the form, which is also in the chat, that will give you access to the workbook where I actually have incorporated that again, and then it explains the north, east, south, and west as well and what that represents from my perspective and what I've learned. If you have, so what I'd like to know is when you guys have done this, how many of you, just raise your hand, and then as soon as I say it, have 1 in emotional? Or 2.
Yeah, before we go any further, we are 3 minutes to the top of the hour.
Do you guys do a wrap off after?
Yes, and we can continue if people want to stay on afterwards, but just for the recording and respect of everybody's time. And I hate to cut you off because this is really good. I'm going to get you to stop sharing screen right now. We will do a wrap up. We'll stop the recording and then stay. Oh my goodness, like I'm pretty sure if I asked for a show of hands who was totally engaged and totally enthralled, everybody's hands would be up, and they had some fantastic insights. So Anita and I want to take a moment to thank you and everyone for joining us on this her virtual stage, her Inspired Journey virtual stage. We'd love for you to go to the Facebook group and make some comments in there. Again, getting some engagement going through with everybody that didn't make it, because they can still have access to the recording by registering for that portion of it. Anita, how do you want to wrap us up for the day, for the evening?
Well, I would just like to say thank you, Andonia, because it was very insightful, and I love those little pieces of wisdom from the Mustang. You know what? It's brilliant. It's just something new. And I know Janet had made a comment that she grew up around horses, and it's very relatable. So thank you for that. And as Cheryl mentioned, we do have our Facebook group, Her Inspired Journey. That is a private group that we would love to have you join if you haven't already. You all will get a follow-up email. We'll have the link to the ebook as well as the sharing that you did there with us, as well as how to, learn more and get into contact with Andonia if you want to work with her at all. The replay will be sent out in the morning.
Yes. And I'm going to stop recording.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to